We come today to celebrate the perseverance of some extraordinary people. The 9 who have been introduced today had the courage to risk their very lives for an opportunity that the white students of Little Rock took for granted in 1957. And we celebrate them today. But I'm so glad that the mayor made mention of some heroes that we often forget. And that's the parents of the Little Rock 9. As a parent of a high school student here in this school, I will tell you that I often, as a parent, have anxiety about my daughter going to school or my son. And the reason is very simple. I'm wondering if they're going to get in trouble, make bad grades. And that happens. But I cannot even begin to imagine the anxiety on the part of the parents of the Little Rock 9, whose greatest fear was not that their son would come home having had an argument with a fellow student or a teacher. Not the fear of coming home with an F, but the fear of never coming home because of a mob. That, my friends, is something that I can't even begin to comprehend. But these brave parents not only had to comprehend it, but they had to live with it. And they had to live with the deprivation economically and physically that they often faced, because many of their lives were forever changed by those who haunted them and taunted them through levels of racism that we read about, we see the photos of, but we will never forget.
Come back after you're done.
And we shouldn't.
So this is down for good? Yeah.
We come today also to continue the path to prosperity. And I say the path because we haven't arrived, and let's be very honest and very clear and very certain about it. We've come a long way in 40 years, a long way. But we're not home yet. We're a long way from the time when we can say that all things are as they should be. But we can also say that all things aren't as they once were. And that should give us hope, and that should give us courage, and that should give us the commitment to continue on today. I know that the Mayor Daley and I sat down a little more than a year ago and first talked about what we hope might be some way to commemorate the events of 40 years ago. And I use the word commemorate, not celebrate. We celebrate progress, but we don't celebrate what happened 40 years ago. But we mark it, and hopefully we move from it. But when we sat down, we had a great anxiety and fear that we would end up with little more than simple ceremonies and testimonies of those of us who are politicians coming to congratulate ourselves for all the things that we had done. And I will tell you today that I believe that it is in the heart of every person on this platform, and I think I can say with genuine sincerity that none of us here would for one moment claim that we are the ones who have moved this generation in the 40 years so much as it is the courage of individual citizens like these parents, the Little Rock 9, and those who came after them, and for those white students at Little Rock Central who understood that it was the right thing to do to welcome those classmates and to accept them and to receive them. And for every one of them who also had to put up with the jeers and with the insults, a heartfelt thanks. We celebrate the progress, but now we must navigate the future. Some have asked, how long are we going to deal with this central crisis situation? Are we going to have to relive it every few years? And I know that there were some who were frankly made to be very uncomfortable about all these activities because some felt it would just resurrect feelings and anxieties. But let me tell you how long we will deal with it. Until justice is the same for every human being, whether he or she is black or white, we will deal with it. Until the same rules apply to get a bank loan for every person, regardless of who he or she is, we will deal with it. As long as there are whites who turn around and see a black person coming and bring fear to their hearts, we'll deal with it. And as long as there are blacks who look and see and have resentment toward a white person, we'll deal with it. We will deal with it until the dream of Dr. elevators and theaters. But let us never forget that only God can give us the power to love each other and respect each other and to share life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness with every American, regardless of who he or she is. Today, as we dedicate the Little Rock Visitor Center, I will tell you that last Friday my daughter and I went there. We walked through that exhibit. And it brought memories to me of the time when Sarah was 11 and we went through Yad Vashem in Jerusalem to visit that incredible place that is dedicated. Started writing her name and address, and underneath there was a space for comments. So long as I live, I will remember, as my daughter paused and then wrote words that will forever be in my mind. She wrote simple words. I wondered as we went through it, did she understand the message of it? Did she get it? If there was any doubt, it was erased as I looked at those words, because those words simply said, why didn't somebody do something? Why didn't somebody do something? In silence we left, and I knew she got it. Today, as the world once again revisits Little Rock and the great state of Arkansas and its great people, I hope that never, ever, ever will someone have to ask, why didn't someone do something? As those who go through that visitor center and may ask, why didn't someone do something? I hope they'll take a good long look and realize that today we celebrate 9 people who did do something. God bless you, and God bless America.